You know that moment when someone asks, "So, what is your story? Why did you start your business?" And suddenly your mind goes blank? You somehow feel that you should have an answer. After all, there's a reason you're doing what you're doing, right? But when it's time to say it out loud, it seems hard to put it into words. And so you might be sitting there wondering, where do I even start? And you know what? I get it. I used to struggle with telling my story in a way that feels right. And putting myself out there and creating content felt really scary. But here's the good news. There's a way to tell your story and share it with confidence, even if you're an introvert. And so today I will show you how I uncovered mine and how you can start uncovering yours too. So if you're thinking about creating content, putting yourself out there, or simply put, starting a personal brand, then today's video is for you. This is another episode of the Personal Branding Diary. In this series, we'll ask the right questions to help you develop a powerful personal brand strategy, enhance your personal brand's visibility, and craft a personal brand narrative that attracts and converts the right clients. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear first step to uncovering your brand story so you can start building a personal brand that truly feels like you. Okay, first things first. Your story is really the heart of your personal brand. It's what makes you stand out, what makes you memorable, but most importantly, it's what makes your audience connect with you on a human level. But here's the catch. Telling your story isn't always easy. I've seen so many entrepreneurs struggle with this, and maybe you felt it too. And let's be real, when you're running a business, if you're a one-man or one-woman show, it's just hard to find the time to figure out your story. I get that. But the truth is, if you skip this step, you're missing out on a huge business opportunity, not just to connect to your audience, but to build trust, establish your authority, and create a lasting impression that turns casual visitors into loyal customers. You know, I used to think there couldn't be an inch of vulnerability in my story, that it had to be this perfect highlight reel showcasing one success after another. But I learned that real connection doesn't come from a flawless narrative. It comes from a human narrative. So let me share a little bit of my story because I want you to see that uncovering your story is not about perfection, but connection. I began my career in advertising, and at first I thought I was exactly where I was meant to be. I was so close to becoming the youngest art director at a leading agency, working with luxury brands, doing what seemed like success on the outside. But the truth is, deep down, I felt empty. I realized that chasing awards or crafting campaigns for big car brands wasn't fulfilling for me. I didn't just want to sell products. I wanted to craft narratives that had a real positive impact on people's lives. So I left what I thought was going to be my dream job, and honestly, I was quite lost for a while and took on some marketing-related roles in tech. And that eventually led me to train as a professional coach. And you know what? It finally seemed like I was on the right path, but then came the next challenge. I had this dream of starting my own coaching business, so I left the safety of my 9-to-5 job in Hamburg and moved to Barcelona. I was ready, or so I thought. What I didn't expect is just how hard it would be to put myself out there as an introvert. Networking, talking about me, it just felt super icky. And on top of that, every method or strategy I tried to promote myself felt inauthentic. Like I was forcing something that just wasn't me. And that's when I discovered this concept of brand archetypes. And it completely transformed the way I saw personal branding. Instead of trying to fit myself into someone else's idea of what my brand should look like, I finally had a framework that helped me understand what makes me different, align my message with my real strength, and share my story in a way that just felt natural. And the moment I started to lean into my archetype, I instantly felt like I don't have to sell myself. I just need to show up and share my truth and let people connect with me naturally. And here's the thing, your story doesn't have to be dramatic to be powerful. You don't need some screenplay style plot twist to inspire people. Your audience isn't looking for that. They're looking for something they can connect with. What drives you? Why do you do what you do? And how can you help your audience with their problem? It's often the small, seemingly ordinary moments that people can connect with. For me, it's often not the fact that I left advertising that people resonated with. It was the feeling of wanting something more and not knowing where to start. It was the struggle of finding my voice when self-promotion felt overwhelming. And I promise your story has these moments too. Those moments that can inspire those people who need what you have to offer. So now that we talked a little bit about my story, let's talk about how you can uncover your story. And here's something I want you to remember for this. People connect with people, not perfection. When you share your story, it gives people a reason to care about what you do. Not just because what you sell or the service that you offer, but because they see a little bit of themselves in your story. And here's the surprising part. It's often not those big flashy achievements that resonate most. It's those small human moments. Think about it. That time you made a bold decision and left your comfort zone. The challenge you faced that completely changed how you see the world. The moment you realized why your work really matters. Those moments, those challenges, decisions, and transformations is where people resonate most. Because chances are they felt something similar at some point. Maybe not the exact experience, but the feeling behind it. For example, when I share how my introverted nature made self-promotion pretty daunting, people often tell me, I feel exactly the same. I want to share my work, but it feels so awkward and forced. That's the power of sharing your truth. It makes people feel seen, understood, and less alone. And when people feel that connection, they begin to trust you. They're more likely to say, this person gets it, this person can help me. So if you're sitting there thinking, my story is just not interesting enough, I want you to let that thought go. You don't need a dramatic story. You just need to share the moments that made you who you are and shaped why you do what you do. Those are the moments that will inspire people who need to hear from you most. Now that you know why your story matters and how it connects with others, let's dive into the practical part. How can you start uncovering your story? The first step, go back to your why. This is where it all begins. Ask yourself, why did I start this business? What problem am I solving? And why does solving this problem matter to me personally? For example, in my case, my why came from wanting to craft narratives that had a real positive impact on people's lives. Not from chasing awards or selling luxury products. It wasn't about what looked good on the outside. It was about creating something meaningful and of value. Your why doesn't have to be complicated. It's simply the reason you wake up every day and do this work. When you connect to that reason, your story starts to unfold naturally. Step 2. Pinpoint your turning points. Now, think about the moments that shaped your path. These are the turning points, challenges, realizations that brought you to where you are today. And here's some questions to help you find them. What was a challenge or obstacle that helped me grow or change direction? Was there a specific moment when I realized I wanted to start my business? What's one decision I made that had a big impact on my journey? Again, your turning points don't have to be dramatic. It's sometimes about small realizations like deciding to take a chance on yourself. And the last step is focus on connection, not perfection. You want to share what matters most to your audience. What parts of your story will help them understand why you do what you do? What challenges or moments will make them feel seen and understood? Remember, people are not looking for the perfect story. They're looking for a human story. For example, I don't share every single detail of my journey. I share the parts that matter most to you, like how I struggled with self-promotion as an introvert, and how discovering my brand archetype helped me share my story authentically. That's what connects me to people like you. So let go of the pressure of being perfect. Start with what feels relevant and trust that the right people will resonate with your message. But if you're ready to take this a step further, I've got something for you. The personal brand checklist. It will help you take a step back and look at everything from your message to your online presence to your story and help you show up clearly and strategically. I'll link to it in the description of this video. So if you've been sitting on your story, unsure where to start, start today. Your story is powerful and the world needs to hear it. You guys, if you found today's entry helpful, then I hope to see you the next time. And if you have a question regarding starting a personal brand, make sure to leave it in the comment section and I'll feature it in one of the upcoming episodes. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you get notified every time a new episode goes live. Till then, take care and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.